Welcome to the Dice Tower, a series of video reviews about board and card games. Here are your hosts, Tom Vassell and Sam Healy.
There are Vuku's amounts of Catan games out there.
This is the best.
There are... Way to spoiler it. There are many versions, historical scenarios, and then a few years ago, I'm not even sure what year this came out in, 2008. 4 years ago, they came out with the historical series. Now, this series is kind of, I'm still waiting. We got Germany and we have the USA.
Yeah, that's it.
Which are very different games. Germany is a set map of Germany, but there's also a few other minor changes. I'll show them to you, and then we'll come back and see if Sam likes it or not. I don't often show the boxes, but this is a really nice insert inside the box. You have spots for the cards, and all the special buildings fit very nicely here and then spots, but it just is a really nice box. But that pales besides how nice this board looks. I mean, this is a fantastic looking board, and you can see it looks like your typical Settlers board, except it's built and it's in the shape of Germany. And each player, over here, you're going to have your 5 different resources, which are the same in most Settlers games. But each player is going to get a building cost at the beginning of the game, which tells you what you can build, but it also tells you your starting positions. So here, I will start in Ulm, Castle, and Dessau. I'm sure that that's probably badly pronounced. And I also get 1 wood and 1 brick. So I put a town in each of these spaces that I am starting in, but no roads, and that's basically how I start. Each player gets those, and then I'll say, okay, I get a wood and a brick, so I'll take a wood and a brick card in my hand. These have the same back, so other players won't know what resources I'm in. And they're going to put theirs out according to their starting cards also. Now, as the game progresses, a game turn takes place this. And if you haven't played Settlers before, which I would be surprised at, this is how it works. You simply roll 2 dice, and I say, okay, I rolled a 10. And we look at every 10 on the board, and if I have a house that's next to 10, for example, this red house here is next to that 10 on that brick property, or that brickwork, so that means I'm going to get 1 brick card. If for some reason I had a property, let's say, for example, I had 2 reds here, and there was a 2 rolled, then I would get 2 of the sheep or the wool resource. So where you have these properties next to numbers can get you more points, depending on where you built them, and more resources. If someone rolls a 7, we put out the rogue artist, or whatever he's called. He's a thief. And when you put him out, you can put him out anywhere you want, and you can basically cover up a number so that number can't be played. And when you do that, you also will get to steal a random card from the person who you put it next to. Now, after the number is rolled, everyone gets resources, whether it's your turn or not. Then everyone has the opportunity to trade with the person whose turn it is, and you can trade cards any way you want. Doesn't matter. You can also trade 3 of the same to the bank. Of course, that's 2 of the same. You can trade 3 of the same to the bank for any 1 resource of your choice. And then after you're done with trading, then each player can build. And you'll build according to this card here. You can see that you can pay a brick and a wood to build a road. You can build a brick, wood, wheat, and wool for town hall. 2 ore and a wheat for a landmark. And a ore, wheat, and wool for developmental card. Roads are pretty simple. When you're building roads, you start from one of your developments and you'll go on, and when you get to another place, that's when you can build a settlement. But you can't build a settlement till you've built a road. The only place settlements can be built are on these cities that are on the map right now, and they're in different locations. Sometimes they're very close to each other, sometimes they're far away. When you get to one of the landmarks, let's say, for example, you have built your road all the way up to Frankfurt here, and you want to build the landmark there, then you simply pay a wheat and 2 ore, and then you find the corresponding landmark, which in this case happens to be this building, and you will place it there. Now that's pretty cool. And the reason I want to do that, because all these buildings, by the way, will have started on the outside of the board in different spots. So that would start there, so I can simply grab it. And when I build it, I will get a reward. For example, when I build the Frankfurt building here, I get a wool and a brick. If I had built Freiburg down here, I would get 2 developmental cards. If I built this one, I get a free road. So each one of those gives you a special ability. Now, the reason you want to build these developmental cards is because you can draw them and they can give you special things, like this mercenary here, which lets you move the guy who's causing problems around the board. Sometimes it's simply just a straight up victory point, so those are worth getting. And other times it will give you a special ability that you can do, building roads or some kind of progress card that will help you over the course of the game. Whoever has the most roads and whoever has the most, the longest road, and whoever has the most mercenaries will also get special cards that they can get extra points from them, having the largest army and the longest road at the same time. So the game will continue on until one player has gotten 10 points in a 4-player game or 12 points in a 3-player game. You get a point for each building that you have on the board and for some of the cards that you have. It's pretty simple. You can play with a variable setup where you set up where everything goes rather than the predetermined one. But essentially, you're just trying to build settlements and these special buildings as quickly as you can, and long roads and big armies. And that's how you play it. This is a game.
I was lying, I don't like it.
This is a version of Settlers of Catan, which is very close to the original game, with some minor exceptions. It's very easy for people to get into this one, I think.
Yeah.
Where can I build a city? 2 away from someone else? No. Wherever there's a spot on the board that you can build a city in.
Right.
Does this game look nice? Well, you just saw the pieces.
Yes.
This is one of the nicest looking games in existence. It's very fun. I like that. I like the idea. You build cities, you build roads, and you build these other cool buildings which give you a special ability.
Right.
It's not a complex game, and if you look on my shelves, you'll see that I have Settlers of Catan, and I have that because I have seafarers and merchants and merchants and traders. I have different expansions that I use with Settlers of Catan, but if I was going to introduce people to Settlers of Catan for the first time, I would probably use this one, and that's why I still have it. So for me, this is a fun version of Settlers of Catan. I don't know that it's a definitive version. It's just the one I use for new people. I think I like regular Settlers better because there's a bit more variety, but there's no denying the beauty of this one.
I barely like Settlers of Catan at all, but I love this. I love this game, and the reason I love this game, first of all, I love the thought that went into the board.
You're a big German fan too.
Yeah, I am. I lived there for 3.5 years, so yeah, I enjoyed the culture. I enjoy this game. The board was actually designed geographically speaking, because they actually put research into searching out what areas of the country produced what these different kinds of resources, and that's where those resources went. So I like that, how they put the thought into it that way. I love all the monuments on the board and how you can build the monuments, and the monuments give you rewards for building those historical monuments. I like the almanac that comes with the game that explains all of the different historical things that are behind each of the monuments, and all of this other kind of stuff. This is packed with theme, and that's what I love about it. I mean, it's just Settlers as far as the gameplay is concerned. There's a few extra things you can do with building the monuments and that type of thing, but that's all
but they took the other things out, so it's almost basically on par with Settlers.
Yeah, and I understand that, but this one just kind of, I guess it just hit my fancy a lot better. I like the fact that you're putting your houses on those other places, so that you can just count the houses. With regular Settlers, you had to count the houses.
Oh,
and
that's
look
true.
at
It's really fast to pick up.
And all of that kind of stuff. So you know who has how many points at any time of the game. All you got to do is count their houses. The components, as Sam already said, are out of this world. Just really beautiful molds, beautiful pieces. They really hit one out of the park. I was really looking forward to have USA come out, and then I saw it, and I was like, ugh.
Well, I don't know if it's that bad.
This
but
one
yes.
just was. This was so much better, and then USA was just like, ugh.
Well, USA takes Settlers America takes the Settlers game and changes it dramatically.
Yeah.
This does not.
Right.
This is a very good family game. It's one that you can play with your family. Very simple and easy. So, while I'm not like in love with it, it hasn't been pulled out of my collection because of the usefulness of it. If I'm going to a game night, this is the version of Settlers that I'm going to bring.
Right.
So I'm going to give it one beautifully produced monument up.
Really?
Are you mad I didn't give it two?
Yes. Just for production value alone. All right. Well, I'm going to give it a glowing. Overshadows the one that he actually. You have to squint so that it looks like there's three that makes up for the one that he should have done.
Wow.
Two glowing, radiant thumbs up. If you're going to buy Settlers of Catan, buy this one. You will not be displeased.
And if you do it in the next 15 minutes, well, nothing will happen. We'll see you next time.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find the latest board game news at Dicetowernews.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Fun Again Games, the world's best game source. Fun Again Games has over 5,000 games available. Check them out at funagain.com.